YouTube, what is up, YouTube? Alright, so yesterday I saw the teaser trailer for Star Wars. I actually thought it was gonna come out with The Hobbit. I'm freaking Lord of the Rings fanatic, and I was gonna go see The Hobbit, you know, the War of the Five Armies anyway. But just having that trailer possibly come out before The Hobbit made it that much more of a must-see movie for me, a must-see thing I had to do. You know, but yeah, so I just saw the trailer on YouTube yesterday, and I watched it about 5 more times since then. I'm like, you know what, I got to watch it again. And so I'm gonna get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm gonna analyze this. I was like, you know what, I have to talk about this. I have never talked about Star Wars on this channel, and I'm going to do it now. So here we go. Alright, so the trailer itself, like Star Wars, you know, The Force Awakens, and you know, the first scene in the very first trailer is a very confused, very sweaty John Boyega, you know, as he's seen to Boyega. There's no R in the man's name. A very sweaty and confused John Boyega, as he is seen. He seems like he just woke up, huh? It looks like he just woke up. You know, maybe, you know, he's a stormtrooper. You know, he is a stormtrooper. Maybe something happened to him. Maybe he gets injured. Maybe he looks like he gets separated from his group. You know, and just this being called The Force Awakens. And of course, John, if you look at the, you know, Wikipedia list, John Boyega is listed as the very first name at the top of the list. And he is the very first guy you see in the very first trailer for this game. I mean, for this movie. Yeah, maybe he is the main character in this story. You know, maybe the Force awakens in him. You know, I mean, that very well could be what the Force Awakens is about. You know, I mean, and Star Wars is always kind of, you know, they've kind of taken these cues from, you know, one big theory that, you know, light always kind of emerges from darkness. And, you know, we've seen that happen before, like with, you know, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. You know, the guy who saves the universe is the son of the guy who plunged into darkness in the first place. You know, so it would be interesting to see that, you know, that happens again. Like one of the enforcers of the darkness, you know, one of the soldiers, you know, used to destroy the galaxy and conquer the galaxy would be, you know, one, you know, the Force Awakens in again. You know, maybe, you know, he is a new Jedi, he's going to join Luke's new order, you know, and he's going to help him out that way. Or, you know, maybe the dark side of the Force awakens in him and John Boyega is the villain. Which would be cool, you know, even though technically people would cry racism since the black guy is the Sith, but, you know, 'tis life. But still, you know, that would be freaking awesome. You know, the next thing we see, you know, the FIFA droid is what I'm going to call it, because it looks like a soccer ball. You know, we see the FIFA droid, you know, also on Tatooine, just like John Boyega's Stormtrooper character. They're both on Tatooine. You know, next we see a clip of a chick getting on some kind of giant speeder thing, and you know, she's also on Tatooine. So, you know, I'm thinking whatever happens starts on Tatooine, which is awesome because it is like a throwback to the original movies, which kind of start on Tatooine. So, you know, so that's pretty awesome right there. You know, so the Force awakens on Tatooine just like it did the first time. You know, so, you know, maybe they're all going towards John Boyega. You know, maybe this chick is, you know, a Force user, and she's felt an awakening in the Force, you know, in John Boyega, and she's gonna get to him. You know, maybe the droid is her droid, and you know, the droid's coming to her, or maybe the droid is a scout for, you know, something else, you know, or maybe the droid works for the dark side. Maybe it's a scout for the enemy, you know. Next we see a quick shot, which kind of reminds me of Godzilla. You know, remember in Godzilla, the first trailer was was the guys in the helicopter, and dude was giving the speech, and then they jump out of the chopper, and you know, you see Godzilla down. Yeah, you know, it kind of reminds me of that. You see some stormtroopers in a dropship, and you know, they open the door, and you see like a big smoke or whatever kind of like floods in when they open the door. I don't think that's Tatooine. I think there's actually the same planet where the next scene takes place, which is the scene with the low-flying X-wings flying over the water, which they did on purpose so they can say, yeah, you know, we've got awesome freaking CG in this movie. So let's have the X-wings fly over water and shoot water everywhere with the jets. Awesome, you know. And so, which brings up something in this, that this movie won't take place too long after Return of the Jedi, because if it did, then there wouldn't be any Empire left, you know. So there is still a remnant, there is still a war going on. It's just that, you know, most of the powerful Sith and the Imperial leaders are dead. Now, one thing I did forget to talk about, because I was kind of excited and I kind of hopped into the trailer super well as far as analyzing the trailer. The voice you hear in the beginning. Now, the voice, you get this super deep, like evil sounding voice.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt?
But you know, it sounds evil, you know, from like the tone of the voice, you know, but it doesn't sound evil, if you really get my drift here. I mean, because he doesn't say anything evil. He says, there's been an awakening in the Force. Do you feel it? You know, and it's kind of like, you know, he's asking him, do you feel, you know, that there's an awakening in the Force? Not, you know, oh, there's an awakening in the Force, and I'm going to kill it, or something like that, you know. There was rumors going around that this is actually going to be about a group of Jedi hunters, and these people, they hunt Jedi and they kill them, you know. And since technically there was no Sith, you know, I mean, there are no Sith kind of in this era, you know, since there was only two. There was a rule of two, and both of them died, being Sidious and Darth Vader. Maybe the new enemy is non-Force users that are hunting Jedi, and maybe they can sense the Force, but they don't use it. They hunt the people who do, and that could be, you know, the deep voice you hear. You know, I mean, and Andy Serkis is in this movie, and I can theorize that Andy Serkis will play an alien that is somewhat Force sensitive, but doesn't use the Force, and he's a Jedi hunter, and he will be one of the main protagonists in this movie. That's just my theory, you know. It sounds like it could be like Andy Serkis' voice just altered. Even though, like, no joke, the first thing I thought about when I heard the voice was,
I feel it in my veins. No matter what you do, Doc, you can't contain it.
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought about when I heard the voice. I know I just lost a whole bunch of people with that, but yeah, that was the first thing I thought about. I was like, damn, that sounds like freaking Jamie Foxx's Electro, you know, freaking Disney just flip-flopping everything, you know. But yeah, you know, the voice it sounds inquisitive more than it does evil as far as the tone, but you know, the volume and everything, yeah, that sounds like an evil person. Speaking of evil, next scene we get to the guy, you know, the cloaked character, you know, in the snow, and this person looks injured. They look tired, you know. It's not like, oh, he just walks up and he's like, ready to go. No, he's walking slow, he's walking labored, and you see when he stops, he kind of bends over, like he's been through a fight already, and now he's going through another fight now, trying to get away from the first one. And he whips out his light, not saber. That is actually I want to call it a light broadsword, you know, or a saber sword, or whatever you want to call it, because it's not really a lightsaber. A lot of people complained about this, like, oh, you know, this is ridiculous. Why is that lightsaber looking like that? Yeah, I mean, I was a little freaked out about it when I first saw it too, but I was like, you know, I mean, I can get used to it though. I mean, because, you know, it looks kind of like a broadsword, you know, and this could be, you know, this may be a Sith, because it does have, you know, a cloak and a red lightsaber or like broadsword, or it could be a Jedi hunter. You know, if you really look at it, the last major group of people who hunted and killed Jedi, well, they didn't really hunt and kill them, but the last people who had a big time war with the Jedi, other than the Sith, were the Mandalorians. And you saw that, you know, the Mandalorian leader, Pre Vizsla, had his own type of lightsaber. So maybe these Jedi hunters also have their own special variant of lightsabers that are like broadswords, or maybe they're like other kind of swords, you know, which would be awesome. You know, I mean, I like new types of lightsabers. Like, I'm one of the few people who actually like the Inquisitor's lightsaber from Star Wars Rebels, the little I've seen of that show. But yeah, you know, I think, you know, this character could be a Sith, but I don't think the Sith would you know, appear that quickly. I mean, unless this was another, you know, of Vader's Secret Apprentices, or maybe this was, you know, I mean, technically this could be Darth Maul, which this is a very out there, you know, thing. But if you really look at it, and you know, in the Clone Wars, Darth Maul was not killed like his brother. He was captured, you know, and, you know, kind of tortured by Sidious. You know, so he could technically be still alive, and after Sidious and Vader are dead, maybe he escapes. Maybe this is Darth Maul's escape, you know, from wherever he was. And another thing here, if you remember, Darth Maul was the first person in a major Star Wars movie to use an alternate type of lightsaber. Yeah, like the first time we see a saber staff outside of like the comics or the expanded universe or anything like that is Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace, and people hated it then. You know, maybe they're going to do the same thing. Now, I kind of doubt it, but it's a very big possibility that they could do the same thing here and have a, you know, newly freed Darth Maul, you know, with a brand new type of lightsaber again. Seeing as though technically, you know, his original lightsaber, you know, was based off of the weapons from his homeland, and, you know, even though he was an expert user at it, it had a lot of weaknesses. It was big, it was cumbersome, you know, it had a really big weakness, which was the giant hilt in the middle. You know, was a prime target. If you wanted to take out his weapon, you could just cut it in half, you know. But maybe he compensates for that, and he builds a new lightsaber. And, you know, something that's a lot less, you know, that has a lot less weaknesses than his big saber staff, you know. And, you know, it would also, you know, help him out, since he wouldn't be as athletic as he was at first, since, you know, he's been trapped for a while and he's got no legs. You know, he's got new robotic legs or whatever. Alright, so moving on. We get the money shot. Alright, now this is the money shot. This is the hype shot that they give you, because I knew this. Everybody knew that this one shot had to be in the movie, in the trailer, and it's the shot of the Millennium Falcon seemingly trying to get away from TIE fighters. You know, that right there, that shot spawned this video, alright? Because, I mean, I wasn't going to talk about it at first, but with that shot, I was like, I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it now. So, so hype. All right, bring it down. But yeah, you know, that right there, you know, that proves that, you know, the war is still going on. Han Solo is still being Han Solo. You know, this movie is going to be awesome. So I might turn this into a series, maybe not. There's not a lot of information about the new Star Wars out there. So turning it into like a weekly or bi-weekly series, like the Zelda videos or something like that, I don't know. If there's new stuff out there, I will definitely talk about it. So that's about it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and keep it real, people. And let the Force be with you.